What is up, everybody? Master Darkpoi Gaming. I am Darkpoi, and welcome to the channel. Trying something a little bit different today. I'm going to do an unedited run, see if I can't get myself up to champion today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Let's go ahead and let's get started. So I have been working on grinding to this champion level for quite some time. I seem to find myself stuck over here in this middle gold tier quite often. Getting over this hump to get into the champion level has been difficult for me, but I think that's due to inconsistency of play. This season I've been able to consistently improve thanks to the tips of Virginia Slim. Big shout out to you, buddy. Appreciate all the tips you give. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with our first matchup here. All right, we got Jordo, player 278. Are we going to get a fourth? I guess we will see. Come on, let's see it. Nope, but we do have a champion level player. That should result in a higher ELO if I can take the victory. So I really want to try to make sure I win this one. I feel like you progress much more when you're playing a higher difficulty grouping of people. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's just the way I feel. I like to go with the ace run here, but if I try the ace run and it doesn't work out, there's a high likelihood of going into that OB. So, you know, I like to just try to make sure I keep it safe. Let others make the mistake if they need to. Alright, so here, what I find is that I like to bring my top chevron up and kind of line it up with this back tree top here. And then I'll give it quite a bit amount of an anhyzer, because what I don't want to do is hit that rock. I want to go back behind it. Get around that tree. Alright, so that's the risk. But this is still totally bankable. 55 meters, I'm going to want to kind of just below my disc right here. I think that's the way to go. Accurate windbreak spike. Turns a little bit with a straight pullback, but I'm going to give it just a tiny bit. And hopefully that's enough. I didn't give it enough power. That's unfortunate. Losing a stroke to Jordo. Good on you, buddy. Alright, so I really like this whole layout. I find that the understable to fade disc selection works the best, because it keeps you around the front trees, but it fades you down by the basket nicely without over fading you into OB. Makes it a pretty simple birdie, but also gives you the chance at the ace if you're willing to run it. Alright, here, with this wind, I'm going to go with the understable. I'm going to disc down. And I'm going to make sure I give this enough hyzer so that it actually physically changes the look. That should skip me up and over and onto the flat ground. Right up by the basket. Oh boy, that was almost dangerous. Go with the heavy disc because I don't want the wind to push me in a funky way. I don't want it to lift me up either, so that's why I go with the heavy putter in those situations. I really like the heavy putter. It's not for everybody, but for me it works great, especially in combination with the spike. That wind is gonna push me over enough. Get away from that rock. Yeah, okay, so I like playing over here, assuming I don't end up in the corner, because I find that by going with the forehand play high here, higher than normal here, but going with a high forehand play, I feel like I'm gonna hit that rock. I should be able to get enough distance but not overthrow it. Having the sticky attribute stops it from ground playing all the way down. Dang, Jordo on fire, clipping the eagle there. Good on you. I normally do play an eagle play there with a good skip off the tee, but with the wind, I was a little iffy on that. So I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I run this ace run every time. It does sacrifice a score, but I enjoy running the ace here. Because when you hit it, you know, it's awesome. But when you miss it, gotta practice that drop zone so that way you don't end up messing up. Sometimes I hit the cage. Like that. It happens. That's unfortunate. I need to do better than other player. Okay, so on here, I know a lot of people have their preferences. This is what I call a security blanket hole for me. I always go with the water skip flow. Not because I need water skip, but because the flow, I think, flies one of the best flight paths for this to basket. Assuming you don't ground all the way down and into the OB. Should put you up nice for an easy eagle, you know? It's definitely one of those holes that without the flow, I wouldn't know what to do. I've thrown a sapphire there, and sometimes it can overturn, and I don't like that. What are we looking at here? All right, calm wind. I'm going to go with the Rive play. I'm going to aim at this tree, and I'm going to kind of bring it to roughly this height. I'm going to make sure I give it a good amount of anhyzer, because if you don't, you will skip over into OB. This isn't looking great, but I'd rather play it that way and clip a tree than end up into the OB and having to do the drop zone throw. I'm going to go Claymore, because I think it'll go less than the 77 meters I need. That way I don't bounce off the basket in OB, because that's happened to me many a times, and I hate when that happens. Picking up a stroke against player 278, so I'll take that. Jordo is playing a fantastic round, so good on them. Alright, same thing here. I'm going to go with the Rive. I'm going to bring my middle chevron, and I'm going to line it up with the banner here, just below it. And then I'm going to throw an almost roller of a forehand. Line it up with the edge here. We got some wind, going to lift us up a little bit, but that should be enough to beat the rock. Beat the rock, man. Alright, so normally that would be enough to beat the rock and create a good bounce to get like real deep down there for the easy eagle. Didn't work out for me that time, so I'm just going to try to go for a chip up play. I don't want to overthrow it and end up into OB. I don't want to hit this tree into OB. Well, it is what it is on that one. That's not going to give me enough ELL to matter. Let's go, round 2. See, 0 points. That's no good. I don't like that. So if you enjoy the more live style videos and you think I should do more of these, do me a favor, leave a like on the video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It really helps me push the content out to more folks, allowing me to attract more prize sponsors, and more prize sponsors means more prizes for me to give out to y'all. And you know, if you haven't already, please go check out my 1,000 subscriber special. That has a pretty cool prize, and all you have to do is leave a comment. All right, so Winthrop Gold. I like to go with a roller play. In real life, this would never work because there are hay bales instead of angled barriers, but because of the angled barriers, you roll right over the barrier. Almost every single time, 99% of the time, it works. And so, unless they change these barriers, I'm going to go with that throw each and every time. It plays very nicely, and I definitely talk about it in my 20 lines my 20 favorite alternative lines video. Alright, so with this wind, I'm going to go with an understable disc. And I'm going to make sure that it shows a straight throw at the top up there. I'm going to let this wind push me over to the left, but it should keep me away from the... Oh, the extra glide. The extra glide pushed me too far. Alright, maybe I should rethink that. Alright, with this wind, I want to kind of favor the hyzer side a tiny bit. 29 meters is going to be roughly disc edge to the top middle line here, not the bottom, but the top. Just a tiny bit too much of a pullback. The wind carried me a little more than I would have liked there. Alright, so big wind. Normally I would go with the backhand play, captain, and I would go over top of the water. But with this wind, I don't think that's going to create good success, so I'm going to go with a forehand play, let the wind push me over, and hope that I clear these trees and bushes and not push too far over into that gap, because sometimes you can push over into that gap over there, and that kind of sucks when you make a great throw and then you end up in that gap. 52 meters, 4-mile-an-hour headwind. I'm going to go full send, maybe a little less. Oh. Hey, that wasn't a bad go. I dig it. Pick up some strokes with some smart play there. I knew that with that wind that the backhand play just wouldn't work out. I'm going to go with an understable driver. I'm going to go backhand flex. And with that wind, oh, too much flex. Oh, no. Either way, that wind is going to put me all the way over into here somewhere, and then as long as I don't throw a stupid throw, which I am known for here, I'm going to go with the heavy. I'm just going to full send it up the hill. Even without clipping the hillside, I think that it settles and doesn't go down the backside hill there, which I've had happen to me, and it's not great. Alright, this isn't a bad go. Alright, so here what I like to do is, I have a couple different choices, right? I could go with the extra glide captain and put the middle chevron on the drum, do a straight pullback, and that, because of the wind, has a high chance of landing me in a safe zone over by the drop zone. But because of this wind, I don't want to go with that throw. I think my play here is going to be to go with the general forehand, aim at this tree, and let the wind push me into a safe spot. Oh, it's going to hit the bamboo. No! Alright, this ain't great. This is really far for a number 2. I think I'm going to go Claymore. Let's drop because it's a downhill. Let's aim to the left because of the wind. Give it... Yeah, that looks about right. And... let's see if we can carry... Oh, almost, almost. Knowing your discs is a big deal when you're playing Disc Golf Valley. Knowing your discs is a big deal when you play disc golf in general, but in this game especially, because of the lack of depth perception that we have, because it's a video game, it's extremely important to understand your discs very well. Even in those weird windy moments, you know? Alright, so with this wind, I'm just going to show my disc, right? Instead of going straight pullback, I'm just going to show my disc. And hopefully, I could get around that tree. I didn't. You get through that tree, you got yourself lined up for a fantastic eagle. But that tree, I feel like, is a classic that one tree move. Oh, that's not really what I was going for, but this is salvageable. Bam, alright, nice. Alright, hey, we're in the lead. Minus what last player is doing there. Alright, with this wind, I'm going to try to ride the skip. I want to put my top chevron at the band of the basket. And then I want to line it up kind of in between the rock and the basket. Because of the wind. I'm going to do a straight pullback. And I'm hoping that the wind carries me enough over so that when we hit the skip, oh, it skips it into the basket. That was a great run. 21 meters, wind left to right. That's going to carry me a tiny bit up over the edge of the brim of the basket. I like it. Alright, so for this hole, I actually personally like to go with a warship. However, I don't rock a warship. Most of the time, I have the core. If I'm going with an ace run, I'm going to try to bring my bottom chevron to the bottom of the basketball and kind of line it up with these rocks over here a little bit. It's a little bit wishy-washy depending on the wind, But if you can get the lineup right, it's good. Now, if I throw the Claymore is not far enough. It does not have, the accurate Windbreak Claymore does not have enough distance to get to the basket. So, you know, by going with the core, it's kind of wishy-washy. There's no accurate statistic on my core. I use it as a throw-in disc. So a lot of people give me flack for that, but I'm fine with it. I use the core as a you know, an up disc if I need to get a little bit more distance out of the mid-range. But I'm normally going accurate Windbreak Claymore for accurate shots. And that's just the way that I like to run my setup. Alright, so we're going to go just drop the chevron, about one whole chevron. So we're about here. I'm going to go about one whole chevron. And then I want to make sure, because the forehand gives a little extra fade at the end, I want to take and go from straight to Anheuser on the actual indicator. I think that's going to be enough to push me over by the basket and settle me down. I've stopped using the big skip captain because it will skip all the way up the hill and into OB, and I hate when that happens. So I just go with the extra glide water skip, you know, when I need it to settle down. So hey, -8, that bogey's gonna annoy me a little bit, but I think old Uncle Softy is still gonna have to put in some work to take that spot. So I dig it. That's a dub. Need another one. Let's go. Let's go. You know, as always, I want to give a big shout out to the channel sponsor, Lone Star Discs. Lone Star has been partnered up with me for now over a year. They're a fantastic company to work with. Sure, they're not the biggest company on the block, and I know that a lot of people have their negative talking points, but let me just tell you, Lone Star has some of the absolute best glow plastic in the game. Some of their discs are just chef's kiss. So don't let the business practices of a business get you down. Innova's been hating on their pros for a bajillion years, and people still go buy Innova discs because they're so easy to get to. Don't let your politics bog you down. You want to become the best disc golfer you can, you should be trying out every brand. So I highly recommend Lone Star Discs. I think that they have one of the best mid-range selections in the entire sport, and their glow plastic is absolutely top-notch. So thanks, Lone Star Discs, for everything you've done to help me grow the channel. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can continue this partnership into the future. Back to the game here. I know a lot of people like to just go with the normal backhand throw. I like the forehand throw because it has a lesser chance of flopping off over into that OB over there, which I find myself in quite a bit, so I don't mess with that at all. Alright, starting it off right with a clean birdie. I like to go high here. I like to go forehand. You can go with like literally any driver that's not a big skip, and I like to aim up. Middle chevron right here in between the 3 and the M. Anywhere here is usually pretty fine depending on the wind. And then what I do is I go up and over the trees as best as possible. I don't want to clip that tree. It slows my disc down too much, but even with that, it's still all right. By adding the height to the shot, it allows me to stop the distance. Oh, come on! It allows me to stop the distance. Man, that was a terrible putt. But it allows me to shorten the distance, but it also allows me to get up high enough over that initial tree and to stop it from kicking over into OB or whatever. I can't believe I shorted that putt. That was terrible. Alright, so with this shot here, I find that a lot of people like to go with the straight backhand shot. I personally like the water skip play ever since they introduced the water skips into the game. It has been an absolute game changer. And I think that by going with the water skip line here, it's way safer. However, if, like me, you prefer an understable skip disc, just understand that you have a high likelihood of not fading enough and making it over to where you need to be. So when in this situation, especially with wind like this, I like to bring myself up to where it's like here. That way I can get around this tree properly and get the fade I'm looking for. If I don't do this, see, that ground play was rough. If I don't do it that way, then it does not fade enough, and it can actually create more problems than I'm looking for. 26 meters. I want to give it a little bit more pullback. That's high on the chains. That was my fault for that spit out. I can't be mad. That's an unfortunate stroke lost. Should not have been that way. Those are the mistakes I'm talking about. It's not that my overall gameplay is bad, it's that, I'm a bad putter. And part of the reasoning for that is because I don't play on a phone, I play on a computer, and I don't play with a regular mouse. I play with a touchpad wireless keyboard. So that being said, I have to work with a touchpad, and that touchpad is uberly sensitive. And it causes me a lot of drama. It's my own fault. I could go out there and get a regular mouse. I just don't like it. I like the wireless setup. So, I deal with it. And that's probably why I'm not already a champion level player. But hey, it is what it is. I like the FD1. It doesn't have a lot of turn or fade. It stays pretty well on the line. See, that's what happens whenever I putt with my... That's what happens whenever I putt with my touchscreen. That happens quite a bit because sliding your finger back and then forward like you would on your phone, there's a lot of room for error. On the touchpad, even the tiniest mistake going forward is going to cause just that. It's going to cause bad throws. It's going to cause you to not line it up, and that's why 99% of the time you see me just do a regular pullback. And people have asked me, like, why don't you putt regular? It's because every time I do... It's because every time I do, man, I slide my finger forward and I just end up, sliding it in the wrong direction. If I do a pullback and let it go, then it ultimately works out better for me. Well, that tree was no good. Oh, that's terrible. See, this is why. This is why I'm not in champion, because I make stupid mistakes just like that all the time. Let's go with a little sky shot here. Maybe this fades over enough. Nah. It's at least going to give me enough lift so I don't hit the wall on my putt. That's unfortunate. Two bad throws. Trees, leaves, pyramid. Not great. Alright, what I like to do is I bring my disc up to here. I take my middle chevron and I line it up right in this crack between these trees. Then, oh, nope, I'm mistaken. Okay, I bring my bottom chevron up here and bring it up into these spots of these trees. That's right. Then I move it all the way over to line up with these trees, roughly. From here, I go with a big Anheuser shot. Wait for the sway to be right, because if you don't, you'll hit that tree. If this skips correctly, it's going to push all the way up here. Yeah, you have a high likelihood of landing in that OB. If you don't, though, you give yourself a great opportunity at the eagle. If you do, easy birdie. No problem. This is part of the reason why I rock a captain and arrive for my big skips, because I find that more often than not, you need those. Alright, for here, I'm going to give a big shout out to Aaron Christensen. I don't know who came up with the line, but this is the first time I saw it. Top chevron, front tree here, roller. Heck, I'm even going to go even more. And the reason is because you can avoid all the tree BS. Rolls right up. Should put you right by the basket. Again, easy birdie. Well, assuming you don't mess it up. I mess up putts so much, it's crazy. Alright, I'm going to go ace run line. I have to if I want to not fall in fourth. I'm going to go top chevron, top corner of the basket. I'm going to step to the right. And then I'm going to move this thing over so that I'm just outside the edge of that tree branch. With this wind, I'm going to go to about halfway of my disc where it comes to my little white line there. Oh, too much Anheuser. That means we're going to have a big, long comeback putt here. Looking good. All right. Hey. Currently in solo second, going into 9. I'm not going to take first place unless number 1 here really messed up, but hey, it is what it is. All right, top chevron. Roughly right in here. And then I'm going to go with a backhand Anheuser flex shot. I want to miss this first tree. Land here. Hopefully get the big skip up. That's a beautiful shot. I love it. From here, I'm going to step to this side because right over in here is a little gap. And you can't see it, but it's there. I hit the tree. It's there. And I use that little gap even from the drop zone, well, probably 100% of the time. I mean, for real, it's there. Yeah, you hit some branches, but it's better than trying to flex some weird shot into that little cove, you know? Second place, it is what it is. Let's go to the next one, all right? I want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to being the newest team member on Team Salty Unicorns. Salty Unicorns is a great company. They are the premier merch sponsor for Owen Scoggins. Big shout out to Owen Scoggins on her performances lately. She is killer. Salty Unicorns is a great company. Their merchandise is fantastic. Their price points are amazing. Please go check out the Salty Unicorns website. Use the code Darkpoi and you will save 15% on all your purchases site-wide. Yes, for the Darkpoi jersey, and yes, for any other jerseys or any other products on their website. So anytime you make a purchase using the code Darkpoi, a proceed of that purchase goes directly to supporting the channel. So it's a great way to show support for the channel and get some high-quality merchandise for your purchase. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much to anybody who makes a purchase. Let's go ahead and get back into the video here. I'm going to go with the Accurate Big Skip Vandal. Understable Big Skip Fairway Driver. I'm going to take my top chevron and aim it right at this bush. Right in the middle, right at the base of it. Then I'm going to go ahead. My goal is to skip off that island, off that little hill that's right there. If I hit the wrong side of the hill, I'll skip to the wrong side. If I clip these trees, it's not going to work out. Just like that. That could have been way worse. But if executed properly, you skip, you bounce right over by the basket, and you're good to go. 28 meters, line up that bottom of the disc with that top line of that middle aim point line. Golden. Today I'm a little under putty. Alright, so I find a lot of people like to go with this aim point. That's fine. I like to come over here. I think by aiming at this tree right around here, and by giving yourself a good Anheuser flex, you can miss this front tree. You have to miss that front tree right there or else it's a danger. But if you do get around it, you skip up pretty nice and it gives yourself a decent look at the eagle. I'm not going to run this eagle right now. I want to try to get to champion, so my goal for this is points. So I'm going to go with the heavy putter, hit the ground. I do not want to flop down over there. That's not where I want to be. Take the easy birdie on this one. I could have ran the eagle, but y'all know running that eagle there is dangerous. Alright, for here, I like to go with a no-turn, overstable driver. For me, it's the General. And I'm just going to throw a heavy hyzer shot, and it should just put me right over by the basket. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Exactly. I find myself, anytime I'm trying to do trick shots or anything, you do some weird stuff, you end up behind the bushes, it's not good. I'm going to go bottom chevron, kind of right here. Because I want to go over top of all the trees. This is too much Anheuser. This is not where I want to be. Fell back down there, that's what I like to see there. Let's go core. I want to overshoot it because it's uphill. I want to rock the fade because I want to settle by the basket. Not a whole lot you can do there. Just take the birdie, no mistakes. No rocks into the water. That's always a tough situation, kind of like what happened to Andy there. Oh, do I go with the ace run? With this win, the ace run is there. I don't think so. I'm going to go with the Marlin here because I want the turn fade combo. With the wind, I'm not going to go full Anheuser. I'm just going to give it about a half a disc there. That should turn, but also fade. Miss this rock, hit this base rock, and land by the basket. That's what I like to see. For the easy birdie. You know, people like to say that these easy birdie holes are all gimmies, but you know, I disagree. I think that with an easy mistake, you could find yourself losing a stroke and it can become a problem. Alright, here is a moment where I wish I had the warship, or at least had accurate on the core. There is no gimmies here with the core. I'm just gonna hope and pray. Get there! Oh, close, close. I don't really have an actual full ace run line there, so I just kind of go with a yeet and pray. But you gotta be careful, that water can be treacherous. That's some big wind, so I'm gonna go no big skip. Kind of put my top chevron in between this little dip here. And then I'm gonna go with an Anheuser shot. That's too much. Way too much Anheuser. I should have went with a straight pullback. That's terrible. Should have been an eagle. Well, let's go for some danger. 70 downhill. Windy. Well, Andy F left, so that's a guaranteed second, but I would really like to try to give Hucks a run for their money, alright? I'm going to go with the understable disc. I'm going to go with another backhand flex shot. We want to ride that wind, but we don't want it to fade us. That's going to fade us. Ah! Man! Wow. That's just disgusting. You know what, guys? Don't even listen to me. I suck at this game. It's a good thing I love disc golf. Otherwise, I wouldn't play this game. But I do. I love disc golf. I'm never going to stop playing. Not bad for a recovery, too. It's unfortunate that first shot was so terrible. Wind lift me up. Go with the heavy putter there so that way I don't get pushed up too high, hit the band. I hate when that happens. Alright, hole 9. Alright. So, with this one, I find that a fairway driver works best. I like to go over here. Give myself a flexy look here. And if the look is correct, Aw, dead skip. Man. The look was right. That's an ace. That's unfortunate. We'll never know. That dead skip was poopy. I mean, 2 strokes lost. That's unfortunate. Solo second because of a quitter. I'll take the points. It's probably 0 points because there was only 3 of us, but hey. Any points towards success is good, so as long as I'm not taking any red, I will take it. Alright, we got a matchup against Cameron and Colby. We gonna get a 4th? Nope. Unless they are joining late. Alright, hop. So again, top chevron. Top of the band of the basket. Step right. Aim to just here to the right of the branch there. And with that wind being like that, I'm thinking just edge of the disc of the hyzer. Should give me enough fade for the ace. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's alright though. You kind of gotta take it for what it is. I'll take a basket hit on an ace run all day. Take ace all day, honestly, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so I noticed a lot of people going with a forehand line, going something like this. And then they fade down over forehand. I don't like it. I find that it puts me behind trees too much, so what I do is go with the understable play. Bring it down like low. We're talking like here. And then just do a straight pullback. I mean, I don't even care what the wind is, because the understability does things like that, which isn't great. But I'd rather take my chances over here than take my chances over there, because over there there's just way too many trees to get behind. A good run, didn't go in. So we're going to have to take the par. It is what it is. Okay, so again here, it's a dangerous play, but I like it. I'm going to go with the middle chevron, and I'm going to line it up with the chains of the basket, but then I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm just going to brew a straight pullback. Nah, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a little bit of an angle work here. And best case scenario is ace. Worst case scenario, you hit the trees, you fall down into the ravine and got to do a drop zone. But I like the percent chance. I like the statistics there of hitting the ace with the captain. If you miss the basket and don't hit the trees, you end up just fading into the wall there. So there's like a lower chance of falling into the OB. Go with this, but with that win, I'm going to go with a straight pullback. No, don't hit the tree. Oh, should have given it a little bit of angle. That sucks. That is a lost stroke. For real. Oh, come on, me. What am I doing? Big wind, downhill. I think almost 100% pullback. Nah. Nope, just full collapse. Now I'm feeling bad, man. Heavy, punch through the bush. Should hit the basket. That sucks, man. Dang, man. Both those trees are terrible. That is not what I needed there. Alright, well, I go with my safe play here. Should be enough. Let's get on over there. I hit the hillside, so it bounced funky, but you hit the hillside flat there, you got a chance at the bounce ace. So that's why I go with it. I like it. It's a good play. It's unfortunate I hit the front of the hillside there. Okay, so I have a line here that I never see anybody taking. I take my top chevron and I line it up with this branch specifically. I like to put it right on the edge there. If you go too low, you hit the hillside. Wait until the bump, the sway is high. Oh, man. You don't hit that tree. You skip on this side all the way over. It works, y'all. It works. I will stand by it. I will use it as much as I possibly can. All right, so for the second shot, if I'm on this side of the creek, I like to go big skip vandal. Usually does a good enough job of putting me right down by the basket. And that's why I love this disc, because this disc is a clutch go-to for the fairway. Keeps you underneath the tree canopies. It gives you the distance you're looking for. Very similar to a 10-11 distance. I dig it. I dig it. I use it so much. For here, I'm going to go with the captain. Forehand play again. I'm going to line it up right up with the basket, but I'm going to bring it over to, like, here. Especially with the wind being like that. It's going to turn this disc. And I have to be ready for that. That is not what I was going for. That sucks. So, we got to do the drop zone. That wind, you got to be smart. You could easily hit the band. That sucks. But it is what it is. Alright, a light glide driver. Sorry about that. Light glide, that's what happens with my touchscreen pad. My fingers get all touchy, sticky, and then I end up doing things like that. So, I'm going to go with right in between there. Go with the straight side more than the hyzer side. Maybe I should have. No, if I would have went hyzer, I would have ended up over there more. 22 meters, no problem. Hitting the birdie. Man, I do not want to take tied for second with these three. I want to take the victory. What's this guy going to do? I don't know the ace run line. I don't know that sky hook shot for the ace run line. So I play the roll off the hill line. Well, that was more than normal. Either way, we're not getting first place. That was a terrible hole 9 for that. Yeah, I don't know that big skip ace run line that people take. They shoot up in the clouds. It's amazing. Not something that I am familiar with, so I don't run it. Because when I tried it, I just bounced off the mountain and into the OB. So it is what it is. Well, there's my first minus. Alright, y'all, I'm going to do one more round. Please, if you enjoyed this type of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you liked about the channel. Let me know what you don't like. Just let me know about how your day is going. Creating community engagement is a big deal. You know, lately I've been slacking a lot on my responses for the channel, but that's only because I've had a lot going on in my personal life. I plan on getting to all those YouTube comments, so please leave a comment. Don't think that I'm ignoring anybody. I got y'all. I've just been superbly busy trying to work, you know, with my personal life. That was not the throw, so that's what happens if you get it wrong. You end up in a terrible spot. You got an awful 2. Assuming I don't hit this little tree branch, though. I'm thinking we're good here. Nope. That's my terrible putting. And that's why I'm not a champion. But hey, it is what it is. I don't mind. I love this game. I love playing the matches that I play. I find that the competitive nature of the gold tier still works for me. It doesn't make me feel bad. It doesn't get me jaded. Getting the points for the ELO points for champion is tough. Don't get me wrong, but it's doable. You just got to get your grind on, man. You know. Easy 2. Go with the overstable, the no-turn overstable driver. Usually with the forehand play, it fades you in enough. Alright, another chance at showcasing this line. This time we'll give it just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. And it should push me through. Just like that. Alright, that's what I like to see. Oh, almost snuck through the crack into OB. That would have been awful. So this would be a moment where a normal person would putt normally, and I don't want to. I don't like it. You've seen, I am a terrible regular putter, so I don't even mess with it. This is part of the reason why I use a heavy putter as well. It stops me from overthrowing my pullback putts. Oh, so I was working this line in my elite matchup with my teammate, Virginia Slim. We are currently tied for 15th in the Global Disc Golf Discord. The tournament is a monthly tournament held by Westy and Global Disc Golf. Shout out to them. I am enjoying it. It's so much fun. It's a best shot tandem. I'm making a video about it to describe, you know, what we've done with it. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to bring that to y'all. But the ace line is there. I like to go with the Extra Glide Light Defender. But it's not consistent. I haven't dialed it in just yet. So for this ace run, I'm going to go with the FD1 because the downhill on the FD1 is very light fade. Put my top chevron right at this little blueberry bush, at least roughly, and give it just a tiny bit. Just enough hyzer, just enough angle work to get close to the basket. It's great. Sorry if I mess up hyzer and hyzer. I'm old school. I started playing disc golf in 1999. I never knew the terms. I never messed around with any of the technical talk. I still don't even know all the different types of throws that are out there. I'm just an OG hippie disc golfer who just enjoys the game so much. For one stretch of my life, I played with a shark only for 2 years. So, I mean, that tells you the type of disc golfer I am. I just love it so much, and honestly, because I play the way I play, I'm probably a whole lot worse than I should be. That was a terrible shot. And, yeah, so, you know, don't be too harsh on me. Don't think that I thought the trees were gonna hit me. I hate that so much. When you think you're gonna hit collision and you don't, and so in turn you end up missing a shot that you know you should have made. That drives me nuts. Anyway, I'm just an OG disc golfer. I've been playing the sport for over 20 years. I absolutely love it. I played all over this country, and I still don't even have a PDGA number. So hey, you know, take that for what it is. No way. Come on, that shouldn't have done that. Oh, am I gonna get lucky and... Nah, no luck. Straight up OB. It is what it is. Gonna have to work this out. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite types of shots in this game, which is a high flex shot. We want to get as much air under this thing as humanly possible before it flattens out. We want no fade out of it. That way when we hit the skip, it fades up after the skip, but still kind of stays straight. That was perfect for what I was looking for. We want to miss that tree, but we want to skip enough to get up by the basket. I think the Vandal is a great play for that. It doesn't overshoot it. And that's why I don't putt. Because of stupid stuff like that. Oh, that's so infuriating. That is so infuriating, y'all. If you've ever wondered why I'm so bad at putting, it's this stupid touchpad on my keyboard that I use. Alright, hole 8. I like to go with a no-turn, overstable driver. I like to aim with my top chevron roughly close to the chains of the basket. With this wind, I'm going to give it more anhyzer than I need to because it's going to fade. And if everything lines up correctly, close to the ace run. Not quite, but close enough. I'm not even, you know what, for the rest of these, for these last 2 holes, I'm not even going to do any regular putts. I hate it. I hate the fact that I missed that putt. That makes me angry. I don't care if I still have solo second. That was not cool. All right, let's see if I can nab the ace. All right. I learned this ace line from Al Farrow. Big shout out to Alf. He is a fantastic streamer. A lot of great tips. With this wind, I may even dial back the angle. Yeah, the wind was too much for it. Yeah, these things happen. Alright, guys, the last putt here. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like the video. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the video. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving out a pretty awesome... a pretty awesome prize pack to one lucky commenter, so don't forget to leave a comment. This is Master Darkpoi Gaming. I am Darkpoi, and hopefully, I'll see ya in the future.